Welcome everybody. Lennox here from S123 Trader. This is the weekly outlook for the currencies, futures, indices, and cryptos for the week of May 1st to May 6th. Hope everybody's doing well. I will start off with the US dollar, and I'm on the monthly time frame looking at the US dollar overall, and looking at this chart going back way into the 1980s here, and the overall pattern on this monthly chart is quite interesting, to say the least. We have been inside of a very what we would call a sort of a diagonal type of pattern, very zigzaggy. So we could call it, but it's more like a diagonal instead of a zigzag. So certainly we are pushing back to the upside of our channel that we're in. We're in this very long channel, and from the bottom here, we've been pushing up, and we've now come back at this point to a serious level of previous support resistance all the way across the years, and we've hit this now once, twice, three times, and looking to break through to the upside. So if we do that, we're going to be coming back to top of our channel here, which if I draw a proper line, gives us quite a lot of room for the US dollar to continue its move to the upside. So very strong US dollar overall. If I bring this back, so you can see we're right at that resistance area, and it looks like this time there won't be a stoppage, and lots of movements in strength to the upside going into this week. And so from last week, uh, we had a nice push to the upside, and the previous week was a down move, but now we're pushing back again to the upside. So sitting right at that resistance, but looking to break through going into this week on the daily. You can see there's lots of strength there. One red bar in the last week or so, and lots of strength going into this week. So if you remember from last week's analysis for the week, the overall direction was down for the market. Everything was pointing to the downside, and we certainly did end up with a downer week. And we'll see how this is going to play out for this week. So strong US dollar, again, for our members at the S123 Trader group, we would look to the Aussie, the Euro, the New Zealand GBP against the US dollar to be heading down, and the USD CAD, USD Swiss, USD JPY would be heading the same direction as the US dollar overall. Okay, so let's take a look at the Australian dollar, and you can see on the daily various moves to the downside overall, and we'd expect that to continue. And looking at the Canadian dollar as an example, the Canadian dollar has been also very weak against the US dollar, and we'll see that continuing as well. We look at the euro. Euro also lots of weakness and still continued weakness to the downside. The same thing would be holding out for the Swiss franc, also very weak against the US dollar, also very weak overall. Japanese yen, super weakness here. And you can see the overall, even to the Mexican peso. Mexican peso a little bit also weak, going down. We look at the British pound. Again, lots of weakness. We're looking for continued weakness, and it's just the same story for all these currencies against the US dollar. We look at gold. Let's take a look at gold. Gold. We're look at this from the monthly time frame just to get an overall picture of what we're seeing. So gold has been in quite a run, and pushing up to to these levels here where we haven't seen since 2011, 2012. We broke through briefly, and came back down, but trying another assault at it, but we couldn't break through the second time. So where are we going with gold? At this point here, after again another try at at breaking these levels, we came back up into resistance, and gold is looking a little bit weak at this point because we've broken through a level here, and we look like we're going to be continuing back to the downside. We have a support area in here, and it's an area, of course. So continued weakness could propel us below these levels and into this congestion area again. So not looking for any moves at all to the upside with gold at this point. And from the look of this chart here at this level on the daily, you can see that we are indeed, pointing to further moves. Let me just get rid of that. Let me just do this. We're looking at continued moves to the downside. But once we break this level here, we'll be heading straight down. So continued weakness in gold. Not looking for any bounces at this point on the chart. That will be the same thing for silver, more than likely, and you can see how weak silver is as well on the weekly, and we're sitting at a very crucial point of support. So silver is kind of leading the way here in this area, and we could see silver breaking down further as the week unfolds. Okay, so lots of weakness in silver and gold. Let's take a look at crude oil. Crude oil is we're on the daily here. Let me go up one higher to the weekly. Take a look at this. Quite the run on crude oil, and now we're inside of a triangle and looking to come back down to the bottom, back into the support area. So looking a little bit weak here at this week, and we could see further drops back down into the support area in here. Okay, so weakness in the crude oil as well. Looking at Bitcoin. Okay, that should give us an idea of the other currencies as well. Bitcoin, let me just go one higher on the weekly. It is also very near a support area here and a support area here. So we could see further weakness in Bitcoin coming back down into this area as well. Right now, it's in a little bit of a struggle at the at another support area here, and any moves to the upside, I would think, would be continued opportunities to sell Bitcoin to the downside. So that might be the same for Litecoin, for example, also very weak. Any bounces, opportunities to sell. We do the same thing for Ethereum. This is looking for continued weakness, and this has been kind of stuck in this sideways channel for quite a while. It broke out once to the upside, once to the downside, but we're back right into the thick of everything, and looking like we're going to continue back down again going into this week and following. All right, and a look at the US, the S&P 500, and on the weekly, we are sitting also at the precipice of the abyss here, and any breach of this level, and we're going to be heading down. Any bounces to the upside would be opportunities to sell this index. Looking rather bleak at this point, and continued weakness going into this week. The U.S. technology group also looking rather bleak to the downside. We're sitting also, if I go to the weekly, at just breaking through that resistance. So any kind of a bounce here would be short-lived and opportunities to sell. Looking at the Dow, same type of setup. We're sitting right at a crucial point, and any breach of this level, and we're going to be heading down for quite a while. So very weak overall in all those. And let's look at the Russell 2000. It is already pointing the way, because we broke through this support level here to the downside. So looking rather weak again, and opportunities to sell in going into this week. So everything looking very weak overall, except for the U.S. dollar. So keep your eyes peeled on the U.S. dollar and the major currencies against it. If you're a member of the Simple 123, that's a given. And be watchful in the U.S. stock market for this week, because Feds, of course, are going to be calling for interest rate hikes and so forth. So the market's going to be quite volatile this week. And again, a lot of earnings going on, and continued weakness I can see going forward. Profitable trading to everyone. Be safe. We're done now. Thank you.